And hello, we are back with Launch Codes Football. I'm Daniel,
And I'm Chelsea wearing my Colts sweatshirt for this episode because, had to rep the team.
and I'm wearing my old high school baseball practice shirt that apparently everyone went in their mothers went to this high school, according to
I'm
Chelsea.
representing Daniel's team behind me on accident.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah, good point. Well, I'm every time I take a sip, I represent the Steelers.
And it has your name on it. That's sick.
Yeah, it's a good Christmas gift.
Yeah, that's cool.
No, well, between the Colts and Steelers, that's just two of the 16 teams that makes up the AFC. And we will end because the season is only a few weeks away. It's time to get to everyone's the most fun of the off season outside of your fantasy draft. Prediction time. Just so we know at the end of the season how stupid we are.
Ah, yes. It's a yearly tradition realizing how stupid we are.
Mine is the weekly tradition.
Ah, ha, ha.
But no, there's so much parity in football now. Every year there's I think there's for years like seven different playoff teams or like five different playoff teams year after year. And every time you look at it, like, oh, this team's obviously making the playoffs from last year. This team's obviously making the playoffs. And then next thing you know, like CJ Stroud has like an incredible rookie season, takes the Texans to the playoffs 2 years back, or someone gets injured, or you have the Jets going far in the playoffs, and Aaron Rodgers looks like, oh, he's not that good anymore. But then he joins your favorite team, and then you're back that this is MVP Aaron Rodgers. But now we're getting
Not
beside
sure if that's
ourselves.
how that
We are
works.
getting beside ourselves now.
It's like when everyone thought Joe Burrow should have won MVP, but they didn't sniff the playoffs or get into the playoffs because his defense was so atrocious, of which it might actually be worse this year, if that is possible. And
Well,
they still got a decent amount of wins last year with a terrible defense. So I'll be very interested to see what happens this year.
we're about to see all that now because we're gonna kick off this prediction show with probably the most obvious prediction for both of us, the AFC East. This is just Buffalo. Is we like do we even like it's Buffalo.
Yeah, no, there's really not much of an argument here. This is a probably I would argue that this is the most top-heavy division in the AFC. Just because the Bills are just leaps and bounds above everyone else, in my opinion. Funny enough, we almost have the same teams picked for this division. I know for me, I went with the Bills winning the division. I have the Patriots finishing second. I think Drake May is going to take a step forward this year. I don't know if he's ever going to be excellent per se or top 10, but I think he's going to take a step forward. I think their new head coach is a really good fit for them. I was really excited when he left the Titans, Mike Vrabel, and went to the Patriots. I mean, I really don't think you could have a more perfect hire if you're a Patriots fan outside of Bill Belichick. I mean, it was pretty much a slam dunk hire for the Patriots. The Dolphins are going to be mid, in my opinion. Tua hopefully does not sustain another concussion. If he does, I don't know how he doesn't retire, to be honest. I mean, that would be what, his sixth one, fifth one, something
And
crazy.
yeah, it's like he not only does he get concussed, it's like it's just the image of him on the field and stuff.
I know.
They might force a medical retirement because he seems like one of those guys like I'm never going to stop playing, and everyone's thinking, please stop playing.
Right. And he seems like such a cool guy. So you really feel for him when you see him have these really bad injuries. And then I have the Jets finishing last, though I will say I think the Jets are going to be better than last year. I'm interested to see how Fields plays. I'm interested to see how the defense plays. They obviously just extended two very big players, one on offense and one on defense. So it'll be interesting to see if those contracts pan out or if they regret them in 2 years. But that's kind of how I see the AFC East panning out. I would say it's probably the most predictable division in the AFC.
And the AFC East this year they will be playing the AFC North with their interconference schedule, and out in our conference they'll be playing the NFC South. But I think Jess, sorry, I was thinking about my sister. Me and Chelsea, we have a difference in terms of third and fourth place because I like the hire of Aaron Glenn as the new coach. I
I
like
do like him.
him as a defensive coach. I do think the Jets last year was dealing with all the drama going on within the team, but also Robert Saleh wasn't your best coach, and then you somehow got worse with the interim. I think Aaron Glenn comes in, he's no nonsense. I think they become a respectful team, And I'm sorry, Miami, I just don't see that defense has gone down, taking a big step back. And I love Minka, but I don't think Minka single-handedly can carry that defense at this point. They have the worst cornerback room in probably of all football. Like I don't trust in terms of can Tua stay healthy for 17 games, and even if he can, Tyreek Hill, he's gone that when Tyreek Hill goes down, he's still an all-pro receiver, but we don't even know he could even go down in terms of I don't want to be here anymore. In terms of just I think this is the year the Dolphins takes a major step back. I think unfortunately the coach gets fired. I think they just and honestly if Tua doesn't show out, I think might be a situation where we might be looking for another quarterback in the draft. I have them in the cellar this year. I have the
Yeah.
Jets somewhat respectable, but still number three. New England, I have them. I think Drake May takes a step forward, but I don't think New England by themselves are able to get in the playoffs. I think Chelsea, you have them actually as a wild card team. So, okay, that's one of the teams you have.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. Just think that the other competition, I think it will be interesting. I think you could have the Chargers and the Bengals rivaling for a wild card spot, assuming the Patriots are the last one. But it's just going to come down to how those teams play. I'll tell you what, though, one of the best games of the year is going to be that Bills Ravens game. That is going to be fire.
It always is. It always
Yeah,
is.
because you said they were playing the other division, the North.
Yeah.
That's going to be probably a candidate for game of the year. I mean, you're probably going to have two MVP candidates facing off in that game. It's going to be awesome.
Also take Mark Andrews and the total yards over in that game. I have a feeling that game he's going to have a lot of just, you know what? I'm going to make them all forget.
Yeah, you know what? We'll see. It'll be interesting to see what happens with Andrews this year. I was a really big cheerleader of him for a lot of years, and last year was rough. His last game of the season was rough. It would not shock me if he started to truly decline this year, which is a shame because I really liked watching him.
Yeah. Well, we go from the easiest division to predict in football to well, this is I guess the second easiest, and honestly, because the Texans, just like the Texans last year, clearly took a step back. They've suffered a numerous amount of injuries to their receiving core, and they still weren't even really that challenged seriously for taking the division last year.
Don't remind me.
I'm sorry, they just like
We couldn't even win in TY's house, aka NRG Stadium.
so.
Sad.
I think this is just an easy. It's a shame that the East and the South, sorry, the East and South, there's just no serious competition or even like there's clearly a number one team, and I like it. And like
Yeah.
I think the North and the West are a little different, but unfortunately, this is the Texans, and the only question is, does
Stroud
any?
gonna bounce back.
I don't even think for the division. Does the because I have the Jaguars in last place. I think does the Jaguars get potentially the first pick in the draft or a top three pick? Because I'm yeah at this point I'm
You don't
all
think Travis Hunter is gonna carry them on both sides of the ball, Daniel?
I think he can and then they'll still be terrible. I think he
That's probably
I
true.
think Travis Hunter is about to be like hey like Mike Trout's was the best player in baseball in 2010s and made one postseason. Sometimes one guy can't do it, and I think
Poor Mike Trout.
yeah I just I'm off the Trevor Lawrence bandwagon. I think I was riding that bandwagon for a while, but he just hasn't shown him to be like that. Not even like an elite quarterback, just a casual Pro Bowl level quarterback. I'm just done with Trevor Lawrence. I do think Cam Ward, I do think something in Tennessee, he can win them like 1 or 2 games. I'm surprised more people aren't really that high on Cam Ward, honestly. Like I feel like the first overall pick, he was easily the best quarterback last year in the college. And I think there's always gonna be like 1 or 2 rookies that explode on the scene every year. And I think Cam Ward's going. I'm not gonna say he's gonna have like a CJ Stroud, Ben Roethlisberger type rookie season, but I think Tennessee will. He's an improvement to what they had last year, and they win a couple games in that weak division. And despite the fact that I, because you have the Colts in third place, and I think the Colts are talented. I think they're too talented not to be second place in this division.
It's going to depend on the quarterback play, unfortunately.
No, yeah, I guess that's true, but like they haven't had good quarterback play the last few years, and they still,
Outside of Philip Rivers, that's true.
yeah, and like they still managed to challenge for the division one of these years. Like the Colts, again, I feel bad because it's literally the Colts and Steelers are twins. They're just always a quarterback away.
Yep. Man, imagine if we still had Andrew Luck at this point.
Uh,
What could have been?
so what's your take on the Colts this on your team? I'm monopolizing the time. Your
I
team.
mean, division wise, I have the Texans finishing first. I think you're gonna see consensus for that across fans that, follow the game relatively closely. I think Stroud's gonna bounce back. Stroud just had a sophomore slump. It happens. I still think he's really good. And I think that he'll bounce back and they'll win the division. Um, and I really like their head coach. As much as I don't like the Texans, I do really like D'Amico Ryans. I remember playing against D'Amico Ryans and hating everything. Um, I have the Jags finishing second. Um, that's not really a testament to them being close to the Texans. It's more a testament of the Jags, the Colts, and the Titans probably all being mid, like just kind of thrown together. Um, my husband is a Clemson fan, so I still have hope in Trevor Lawrence. I will say with confidence, though, that his hype around his draft, he has paled in comparison to what people thought he was going to
Oh my
be.
goodness, he was supposed to
I
be
mean,
like
he was supposed to be generational. He was supposed to be the next Andrew Luck, Peyton Manning, like type quarterback.
like his hype with Andrew Luck's hype was the same, and Andrew Luck
Hmm.
surpassed that by like November of his rookie season,
Yeah.
and you just haven't seen that with Lawrence.
Yeah. And it's really just a shame because I don't think Trevor Lawrence is a bad quarterback. I think he's stuck on a bad team. Jacksonville has been a poverty franchise outside of 1 to 2 years in the 2010s since their like existence. That they are just not well managed. They just don't have good culture. I mean, even if they have good players, they somehow manage to ruin them. And don't get me wrong, I'm not blaming the quote unquote downfall of Trevor Lawrence on only the fact that he's on Jacksonville because that's unreasonable. He definitely has not performed up to the standard people thought he was going to, but I would not call him a bust. I would say he's probably slightly above average right now. I think if you put Trevor Lawrence on a different team, that he would be pretty good. I think you could put Trevor Lawrence on the Browns and he would play better on the Browns than he would at Jacksonville. Jacksonville is just a dumpster fire of a franchise that always manages to beat us. So don't hear me trashing Jacksonville and think, oh, Chelsea thinks the Colts are so much better. No, no, Jacksonville still beats us, even though they're a dumpster fire. Their owner is very interesting. Shan Khan is his name, I believe. Their new GM, very interesting. It was very interesting watching him navigate free agency when he became the GM. But I still think that they have enough talent on the team to place second. I mean, I don't think they're going to win like 10 games. Like, I think they could place second, at 8 or 9 games, like being slightly above average. I do think that Travis Hunter is going to be good. I think he needs to play wide receiver and not corner. I think if they try and play him at both, they're going to ruin his career. I think you play him very specifically in very specific packages on defense on occasion. But for the vast majority of the time, you play him at receiver. That's what I would do because he was a lot better at receiver in college than he was at corner. Travis Etienne is not a bad running back. At one point, he was a top 15 running back, and then they decided that Tank Bigsby was the next greatest thing since sliced bread.
Okay,
And that still dumbfounds me because I think Travis Etienne is a good running back. Again, I just attribute that to Jacksonville being Jacksonville.
that ruined my fantasy season when they just kept giving it to Tanks Bisbee, and I'm like,
I know.
why they
It
even
was
draft
crazy.
him?
And not to say Tank Bigsby is bad. Like, I don't think he's bad, but like, I feel like ETN is, at his peak, a top 10 running back potentially. I mean, dude showed out when he came in the league, but what do I know? I'm a Colts fan. As for the Colts, this whole season is going to be dependent on the quarterback play. I mean, that's really all it comes down to. I don't think that the Colts have a bad team necessarily. I think they're weak at linebacker, and I think that they've suffered a lot of injuries in their secondary, and they probably don't have a true wide receiver one who's going to dominate a game. But outside of that, I don't think that the Colts have a bad roster outside of quarterback. I think they have stars on both sides of the ball. You have Jonathan Taylor and you have Chartavius Ward. You have Buckner. I mean, you have a couple of guys who can show out and make plays. They have good lines, good D line, good O line. It's just going to depend on the quarterback play. If Anthony comes out and is completing 45% of his passes, we're not going anywhere. I mean, that's just
But
the reality.
if even Anthony plays, he's injured again, and it could be just back
Well,
to
he's
sticks.
actually not injured. He did not know how to read a basic blitz in his first game and managed to dislocate his pinky. But they popped it right back in, and he's been playing all week. So evidently he's fine. I don't know how you don't pick that up, but anyway, yeah, you know what? We'll see. And if he gets benched and they're playing Daniel Jones, I have even less faith that will do anything. So it's really predicated on the quarterback play. If Anthony Richardson takes a step forward and completes, oh, I don't know, 50% of his passes and like doesn't overthrow people 3 yards down the field, I don't know. We could probably win 7, 8 games, maybe nine if he like really takes a step forward. But I mean, if he plays at the same rate that we're used to, we might be watching Riley Leonard play at the end of this year, which is just not to hate on Riley Leonard. I didn't really like him at Notre Dame, so it's just kind of sad. So here's to hoping Anthony Richardson works out because, as I've discussed previously, I have the sickest Anthony Richardson jersey, and I would really like for it not to become meaningless. Okay, thanks. I don't think the Titans are going to be very good. I think Cam Ward is going to be good. I think the rest of the team is trash. The receiver that they drafted to replace AJ Brown when they dumbly traded him away has been cut off the team. If that tells you anything about the state of the Titans organization. They have some playmakers on offense. I mean, they still have Pollard, they have Calvin Ridley, Lockett as well. So it's not to say that they don't have playmakers. I just think that the overall strength of their roster is just not very strong. So I could see them finishing last, but not necessarily doing terrible. Like maybe finishing last with like 6 or 7 wins. You know what I mean? Like you have the Colts and the Titans anywhere between 6 and 9 wins, and the Jags anywhere between 7 and 9, and then the Texans maybe like 10 and 7, 11 and 6, something like that.
Well, that was hopeful.
I know
And
it's really going to depend on the quarterback play. My husband seems to think that the Colts are going to win one game this season, not two, one. One. I said, really? Are you sure you're not just saying that to make me angry? And he claimed he was not. So here's to hoping the Colts win 2 games this season so I can prove him wrong.
you know, I just like that. Do you want to sleep on the couch? Because it really sounds like you want to sleep on the couch. That's some couch
You're like,
sleeping
I
language.
just really think you must really be in the mood to sleep on the couch. No, just kidding. No,
Well,
never. But I was like, I think you're trying to make me mad on purpose. Why? Why are
and
you
you
like this?
and you succeed. Well, on the bright side, if they have one win, you can draft a Manning potentially.
Well, I've heard talks that apparently his grandfather or his uncle said apparently he might not be coming out, which if that's the case, I want Drew Aller. That might be a hot take, but I want Drew Aller.
Well, the college football season is starting up too, so who knows who
I
plays
know, and it starts
Sunday.
earlier than the NFL, so then we have double football. Ah, yay!
And now to my pick, my team, my pick in my division, the AFC North. Okay, we will put this. Everyone knows I am a Steelers fan, so
Mm-hmm.
you see the bias. I
Mm-hmm.
established that I am very biased on this.
Yes, I can
Pitt,
see that.
Pittsburgh takes the division, and my reasoning is this. They have had, for any playoff team, the worst quarterback situation since probably 2020. We've had the end of Ben Roethlisberger, had Doug Dodgers, Doug Dynasty, whatever his name is, Mason Rudolph. We've had
Amazing.
Kenny Pickett, Mitch Trubisky. We had
And
Mitch
Fields.
Trubisky, people. That
And
has
Justin Fields.
Fields, and then Russell Wilson last year.
Mm-hmm.
We make the playoffs every year.
Mm-hmm.
9 wins,
Yes.
sometimes 10.
Right.
Aaron Rodgers at this point in his career is better than all those quarterbacks. I believe Rodgers gives you at least 1 to 2 more wins, even if he plays like he did in New York last year on this team this year with, let's be real, still one of the best defenses in football, still one of the best coaches in football. You replace George Pickens with DK Metcalf, so in my opinion, a slight upgrade on receiver. You got Jonnu Smith. You sign your guys. Jalen Ramsey's there. I just feel like the biggest question with Pittsburgh is they're going to make the playoffs, in my opinion, knock on wood. They're going to make the playoffs. Can they take the division? I do not trust the Browns. They are terrible. They are trash. They have one good. I'm happy Miles Garrett got his money, and now he can't complain about wanting to play in Super Bowls.
I
Period.
do like Miles Garrett in their defense. I think he's a cool guy.
Miles Garrett is the beast. I understand
Yeah,
he
he's cool. I
like
like him.
I like him, and you know what? I'm happy he got his money.
I even like their head coach. I'll say I like two people on that team.
But they're not doing anything this year. Even if they have Shador playing, which I don't think that he's if he starts, it's not gonna be till later in the season, honestly. And he did look
Let's
good.
start a petition to have them trade Dylan Gabriel to the Colts. What's the worst that could happen?
Why not? Um, Trade him to Pittsburgh. Maybe they need a quarterback for the future. Um, then you got the Bengals. The Bengals are might be the most talented team on offense. They might be they're going to be the number one offense in football again, or at least the top five offensive team in football. They can score 40 points a game, and they will give up 45 points a game,
Just like they did last year.
just like they did last year. So I think they do better. I just think they do better, but I still think they're number three in the conference. So it all comes down to the bullies of Baltimore. And this is where I'm going to manifest this to happen. I think they're going to take a slight, when I say step back, I don't mean step back in terms of not competing for a championship. I'm thinking step back as in they don't care about getting the number one seed. They don't care about being a top team in the division. Derrick Henry's a year older. Lamar Jackson's a year older. They're both like, well, at least Jackson. He has sometimes an injury history. I believe Likely is out for a little bit with his own injury problem, so they lose a two tight end system. They are still going to be competing for a Super Bowl, but I think Pittsburgh jumps them in the division just ever so slightly. So that's my take. I will take your hate comments and flaming torches soon, and I'll have Chelsea roast me over Spitfire.
Okay, here's my question. Which roster, unbiasedly, do you think is better? The Steelers or the Ravens?
It's if like gun to my head, I'll say Baltimore, but it's very even. It's very close.
Okay, but that does that not prove the point though? I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I don't think that Pittsburgh is a bad team, but Aaron Rodgers is aging. Aaron Rodgers, outside of the last couple of games last year, looked very mediocre. I mean, for all you know, Aaron Rodgers could be taking a step back this year. If you're hedging your bets on an aging, almost retired Aaron Rodgers, that just doesn't give me a lot of confidence. And that's not to say I don't think the Steelers will make the playoffs because I have them as a wild card team. Like, they'll be good
Yeah.
enough to make the playoffs. But if you're going to compare roster to roster, division to division, Pittsburgh is not winning that battle. And because of that, I'm taking Baltimore. I still have Pittsburgh making the playoffs because Tomlin is a good coach and they have good skilled players and you extended TJ and you have some good players on your team. You got rid of Najee Harris, thank goodness. That dude was terrible. But
And then Charles, I with
I
fireworks.
know, and something happened to his eye. But after seeing Lamar, how he played last year, it wouldn't shock me if Derrick Henry wasn't as good next year as he was, or this year as he was last year. But Derrick Henry is still probably going to get at least 1,200 yards. I'm just in a straight up head to head battle. I'm not taking the Steelers. I don't think the Steelers are bad, but I think if you're going to hedge your bets on an aging Aaron Rodgers, I think that that is honestly kind of a recipe for disaster. That's like me trying to hedge my bets on Anthony Richardson, who has a career like 38% completion percentage.
I am hedged my bet that an aging Aaron Rodgers is better than the quarterbacks they had previously, which
I mean, that may be true, but the quarterbacks you had previously were so bad, it may not make a difference. I mean, and
that's
as for the other teams, I still have the Bengals in third. The offense is going to be prolific. Any game that they play in against a good team is going to be electric because it's just going to be a shootout the whole time. It's going to be like 50 to 51. But their defense is terrible. They have Trey Hendrickson, and that is their defense. And then the Browns are the Browns. They have five quarterbacks and four of them are hurt. So that's pretty much all that I have to say on that division. That just leaves the AFC West, of which we have very different opinions, I noticed, which is super interesting,
Yeah.
except the Raiders. We both agree the Raiders are going to not be good. Poor
Yeah.
Raiders.
I like the Rays.
Um,
This is like the
yeah,
best coach division in terms of I like every
that's
coach.
true.
I think the
And they
Rays,
have Pete Carroll now, which is
yeah.
exciting.
I think the Rays in another division, they might be a little better, but they're in the gauntlet. So sorry.
Right. I have the Chargers in third. They lost their left tackle again
Mhm.
to a season-ending injury. Justin Fields, not Justin Fields, Justin Herbert is going to be running for his life again. That is not a recipe for success. I think that their offense is decent, and I don't even think that their team is terrible, but I don't think they're making the playoffs, especially with no offensive line, which has been their downfall pretty much since Herbert got there, which I understand being a Colts fan with Andrew Luck and literally having Anthony Costanzo, and that being the only person we had until we drafted Ryan Kelly and Quentin Nelson. I have the Broncos finishing second. I think the Broncos are going to be a good team this year. I think the Broncos are probably going to be the top wild card seed between the Patriots, the Steelers, and the Broncos. I have the Broncos being the top wild card. Knicks is really good.
Yeah.
And they just extended Sutton. I think that there's a chance that they could rival the Chiefs for the division if some of their aging stars continue to take a step back, like the Travis Kelce's of the world. But I'm still going to safely put the Broncos in second, winning at least 10 games. I think the Broncos are going to be really good. And then I have the Chiefs first. I think Kelsey is probably aging and declining at this point, but you still have Patrick Mahomes, and that is good enough to get you to a Super Bowl anyway. Not saying they're going to win the Super Bowl, but they're definitely, I would say that they're going to win the division again, though it may be closer than people think with the Broncos. I really do think the Broncos are going to be good this year.
I said you have the Chargers not making playoffs. I actually have the Chargers as my surprise division winner. And
I
my
saw that. I was shocked, I
and my
dare
biggest
say.
reason is simply you give me another year of Harbaugh. Harbaugh, wherever he goes,
That's true.
his first year is always a little bit is always better than you expect. And next year, that's when the team seems to explode in terms of actually competing for a trophy. I
That's
think
fair.
I think the fact is, I think again, this is the best coach division in all of football. I think
Agreed.
all of these coaches are amazing. I think the fact, and I think honestly, Harbaugh might be the best coach, probably of the past what decade or so, decade give or take, in terms of what he did in San Francisco, winning in Michigan, and now immediately
Cheating in
take.
Michigan.
Yeah, well, I can't even say that because Pete Carroll's in Division Two, and he
I'm
Pete
just giving
Carroll,
you a hard time. I'm just being a troll.
yeah. So, but no, like I trust. There's no other coach I trust more right now in the NFL. Well, I'm not gonna say all that, but there's no other coach I trust more to take make a good team into a great team than Harbaugh. And I think Sean
That's true.
Payton's like that too, in terms of I think him with Knicks is a perfect combination. They just re-signed Courtland Sutton. They not re-signed him, but gave him
Extended him.
extended him. I think they surprised everyone last year. And I think in terms of just trusting coaches in this division, I trust Peyton and I trust Harbaugh. And I do think the Chiefs, one thing why I had
And
Chiefs
Andy Reid, bro's a dog.
in terms of smartest offensive coaches is Reed and everyone else. Him and why am I blanking on the Chargers? The Rams' coach's name, McVay.
Oh,
McVay.
McVay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
People call him McVay because apparently he looks good. Um in terms
That's actually my maiden name, funny enough. McVay.
cool.
Fun fact about me.
Well, fun fact about Chelsea, a little star course. Um, they won a bunch of games by one score last year. And I don't think you can that's not something you can do year after year after year. I do think they went to three straight Super Bowls. It's gonna be a bit of a decline in terms of players just being like not injured, but just like a little bit sore here, sore here. They don't really care about taking a division title. They only focus on the January and February. I do think Mahomes has the best statistical season, but I just don't think they have that same focus of wanting to win every game like they've done the past few years. I think
Kind of
that,
your similar argument to the Ravens. They're
yeah,
more focused on the postseason.
yeah. I think the Broncos, they take a step up. I think the Broncos and Chiefs are my two other wild card teams. So, yeah, I do think the Chargers are the dark horse team to take a division in right now in the NFL. And you know what? This is why we do postseason. This is why I do predictions because this time Christmas the Chargers are gonna be like 3-12, and I'm just
And
gonna.
the Colts are going to be 12-3. No, just kidding.
But yeah, so my picks for the playoffs will be the Bills, Texans, Steelers, and Chargers are division winners, and then the Ravens, Chiefs, and Broncos are wild cards. And Chelsea
Yeah,
and Chelsea's are the Bills, Texans, Ravens, Chiefs are division, and the Steelers, Patriots, and Broncos are your wild cards. So
dude, imagine a Chiefs Ravens wild card matchup. That would be crazy.
that'd be awesome.
That
And
would be really cool. I'd pay to see that.
well, the new streaming service and everything, we might actually pay for see that.
Oh
But
my
that's
goodness.
a
I actually have Sunday ticket again this year. My cousin and I split it. So we'll be watching some Colts games, yelling at the TV
that's
from
just
as family does. Nothing bonds family like shared sports trauma, am I right?
well. Before we go see our therapist, everyone, Chelsea, plug us with those handles.
All right, thanks for listening, guys. Tune back in next week where we will be previewing our division winners and playoff teams for the NFC. So look forward to that. As for social media, we are on TikTok, Discord, YouTube, and Instagram at Launch Codes Football. If you guys are interested in joining our Discord, let us know. I can send you the link. Just hit us up on Instagram or on Facebook or Twitter or anywhere else, and I can send you the link. We're trying to build it up. It's all made up, all nice now. It looks pretty good, so we're trying to get people in there for the start of the season. To get people interested, we're doing a Launch Codes football draft, which we will be streaming again this year. So look forward to that at the end of the month. And also follow us on Twitter because our handle is too long for Twitter. So that's Launch Codes FB on Twitter. Look forward to the next week's episode, and we will see you next week. Have a good weekend, guys.
See you guys next week.
See
Adios.
ya.